Chapter 12. The year was 1923. In Italy, Uncle Benny's blackshirts were throwing their weight around. The Big Baldy, for those of you not following, His Excellency the Dickhead. Over in Villafranca di Verona, there was an underground gambling den, a hangout for high-stakes rollers, high-end hookers, and regime lapdogs. It was a private club, the kind of place where only a privileged few got past the door. It was the infamous Club of the Foot. The vampire was an honorary member, but his crude manners and suspicious winning streaks had rubbed the old-school members the wrong way. To get some action at the table, he had to challenge the newcomers, the guys with fresh memberships. During one game, he'd cleaned out Marshal Pizzibutti, a pompous son of a bitch, a fat slob with cigar ash all over his uniform. Several club members mentioned seeing the guy squirming in his chair, drumming his fingers on the table, tapping his feet on the carpet, shaking his head, and scratching his chin. He was a lousy player, no doubt about it. Some thought about cutting the game short with some excuse, if only to stop the marshal's massive hemorrhage of cash. But nobody stepped in. Rather than endure that pathetic show, most people just cleared out. Others stayed just to watch the marshal sign away promissory note after promissory note. The game dragged on until 2 in the morning, by which point the marshal looked like he was sinking into total despair. After some mumbled pleasantries, he managed a half-assed bow and left. He'd lost everything, a total blowout. The guy was flat broke. Over the next few months, the vampire kept stripping the new members bone dry. There was Gabriele D'Annunzio, who threw in his cards by the third hand, Tommaso Filippo Marinetti, who was left practically in his underwear, and Alistair Crowley, who walked away after losing a fortune. And then came the abominable, disabled soldier, a real shady character, dark, hunched, and gaunt. He walked with a limp, leaning on a cane. He was dressed all in black, shiny metals pinned to his chest, a heavy bandage wrapped around his face, leaving only his eyes exposed. The vampire started shuffling the deck, then fanned the cards out in a crescent on the table. The game went on well past midnight. There was only one member left in the room, the Duke Count Semenzara. Before nodding off, he noticed the vampire actually seemed to be losing. He was a mess of sweat. You could read the tension all over his face. A few hours later, the Duke woke up and saw the two of them were still at it. The vampire's stack of cash had dwindled to a few thousand lire bills, while the abominable soldier's pile had grown sky high. Semenzara smirked, showing teeth stained black from tobacco. When he left the club, he figured either Count Ottolini had lost his touch or the abominable soldier was just a better cheat. Word is the game went on until almost 6 in the morning. The vampire was livid, a glowing lump of pure hate. The abominable soldier had plucked him clean, left him without a cent to his name. The vampire lunged like a tiger. He grabbed his opponent by the throat and squeezed with everything he had. "Thief! You cheated! Admit it!" The abominable soldier tried to break free. As he struggled, the bandages came loose in the vampire's hands, revealing the face of Marshal Pizzibutti. One side of his head had been blown away by a pistol shot, a self-inflicted wound.